Today is gonna be the day that I go and throw it back to you.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the third episode of I'll Name That Review Later with your boy Frank. Today, we'll be talking about Mac Miller's Swimming. For those who don't know, Mac Miller was, man, sometimes it really just hurts to say was. Mac Miller was a Pittsburgh native MC born in January 1992. Mac Miller came out with his first debut album, Blue Slide Park, and led it into 4 other albums. Swimming is a 13-track, 1-hour album. It came out early 2018, and in all honesty, there's nothing I've ever skipped on this album. If you've been a fan of Mac Miller since the early 2010s, you'd see his evolution as not only a rapper and a lyricist, but as a producer. If you listen to his earlier music, it's a lot of the trendy beats that were going on at the time. As he slowly progressed, you see that he incorporated a lot of jazz, a lot of fusion, a lot of funk. And even with the beats that were incorporated on Swimming, even though some of them are lively, he was really introspective. And a lot of the beats, you can hear it in What's the Use, you can hear it in the dancehall inspired Jet Fuel. His lead single, Self Care, was a music video where he was literally sitting in a coffin. Mac Miller was very, very blunt and very, very truthful about his life. He left his heart on his sleeve when he talked about his drug use. When he spoke upon his old relationships with people like Ariana Grande, you've seen his descent into his tragic demise. But if you were ever to get in tune into an artist such as Mac Miller, you'd see yourself in him in some way. For me and Mac, he talked a lot about his mental health issues and his struggles with just being himself around a bunch of people in tough times, and I for one can relate. And if I didn't set a rule for Spotlight songs only being 3, I'd choose the entire album. But for me, it's Come Back to Earth, What's the Use, and Self Care. I think the best thing about Swimming is the fact that it's so interpersonal, it's so introspective. You see with Mac Miller's words the way he paints his pictures, the way he talks about his life, and you can hear it in the music. Mac Miller's probably one of the only artists that I know in this generation that really talks with his heart on his sleeve and lets you know how it's going down, from his drug use problems, his depression, his dating, his relationships, and you see it all in every album that he's put out. But Swimming, although that's his swan song, and I'd hate to say like this was a good way for him to go out, besides the posthumous album that just came out earlier this year with Circles, I think if you haven't been a Mac fan, you should tune into this one. And then go back and listen to all the good things that he's put out. I'm not rating this album. Usually I break down albums, but I've listened to this one so much because it resonates with me in my personal life that I don't know what to call it. I don't know if I want to give it 10 stars or 100. And I hope that you guys listen to this album and take heed of what I'm saying. Let me know what you think about Mac Miller's legacy, Mac Miller's projects if you are a fan. Tomorrow I'll be back with my weekend wrap up, and I'll let you guys know what I'm talking about for Monday and Thursday. Peace out, y'all, and rest in peace, Mac.
Man, love's underrated. I think people think it's like a cheesy, corny thing to always be like loving and like have a positive energy about you. I was one of those people. I was like, man, I'd be so much more interesting if I was like self-destructing all the time and depressed and hated myself. Like I'm so much more interesting that way and more creative. It's not true.